Hello, students. In the first part of Unit 3, that is Natural Resources, we have discussed about renewable and non-renewable resources. And in that, we have discussed about four types of resources, that is land resource, forest resource, water resource, and energy resource. And I have covered with the land resource and the causes of land degradation. Now, in the part 2 of this lecture, we will discuss about forest resources. So, forest is important renewable resource. Forest vary in composition and diversity and can contribute substantially to the economic development of any country. Plants along with trees cover large areas, produce variety of products and provide food for various living organisms, and also important to save the environment. It is estimated that about 30% of world area is covered by forest, whereas 26% by pastures. Among all continents, Africa has largest forested area, that is 33%, followed by Latin America, that is 25%. Whereas in North America, forest cover is only and only 11%. Asia and former USSR has 14% area under forest. European countries have only 3% area under forest cover. India's forest cover accounts for 20.6% of the total geographical area of the country as of 2005. So, what are the significance of forest? Forest can provide prosperity of human being and to the nations. Important uses of forest can be classified as under. Under that, the first is commercial values. Forests are considered as the main and most important source of many commercial products, such as wood, timber, pulpwood, etc. About 1.5 billion people depend upon fuel wood as an energy source. Timber obtained from the forest can use to make plywood, porch, doors, and windows, furniture, and agriculture implements, and sports goods. Timber is also a raw material for many of the paper industry for the process of paper preparation, for the process of rayon formation and fill. Forests can provide various quality of food various quality of fibers, maximum quantity and quality of the fibers can be obtained from the forest, edible oils, and drugs. As per the Indian knowledge system, the maximum drugs then can be obtained from the forest resource. So, forest lands are also used for agriculture and grazing. Forest is important resource for development of dams, recreation, and mining. Now, the third is ecological uses. Now, under the ecological uses of forest, we people are the main components, or we people are the major factor which has their contribution in ecological uses of forest. Forests are habitat to all wild animals, plants, and of course we human beings. And forests support millions of species. They help in the process of global warming reduction, which is caused by greenhouse gases and produces oxygen upon photosynthesis. Forests can act as pollution purifier by absorbing toxic gases. Forests not only help in soil conservation, but it also has its greater contribution to regulate the hydrological cycle in nature. Then the fourth point comes under the forest resource, that is aesthetic value. All over the world, people appreciate the beauty and tranquility of the forest because forests have greatest aesthetic value. Forests provide opportunity for recreation and ecosystem research. Now comes the overexploitation of forests. As forests contribute substantially to the national economy with increasing population, increased demand of fuel, wood, expansion of area under urban development and industries has led to over exploitation of forest. At the present international level, we are losing forest at the rate of 1.7 crore hectares annually. Overexploitation also occurs due to overgrazing and conversion of forest to pastures for domestic use. Now, the third point under the forest resource, that is the deforestation. Forests are burnt or cut for clearing of land for agriculture, for harvesting, for wood and timber, development and expansion of cities. These economic gains are short term, whereas long term effects of deforestation are irreversible. Deforestation rate is relatively low in temperate countries, than in tropics. If present rate of deforestation continues, we may lose our 90% of tropical forests in coming 6 decades. Second, for ecological balance, 33% area should be under forest cover, but our nation has only 20.6% forest cover. It seems we are not having that much sufficient area which is required for the forest cover. Now comes the causes of deforestation. So, forest area in some developed area has expanded continuously. However, in developing countries, area under forest is showing declining trends continuously, and that is particularly in tropical region. Main causes of deforestation are first, that is shifting cultivation or zoom cultivation. This practice is prevalent in tribal areas where forest lands are cleared to grow subsistence crops. It is estimated that principal cause of deforestation in tropics in Africa, Asia, and tropical America is estimated to be 70, 50, and 35% respectively. Shifting cultivation, which is a practice of slash and burn agriculture, are poses to clear more than 5 lakh hectares of land annually. In India, shifting cultivation is prevalent in northeast and to limited extent in MP, Bihar, and Andhra Pradesh, and is contributing significantly to deforestation. The next is commercial logging. Commercial logging is an important deforestation agent. It may not be the primary cause, but definitely it acts as a secondary cause because new logging lots permit shifting cultivation and fuel wood gatherers access to new lodged area. Need for fuel wood. Due to increased population, there is an increasing demand for fuel wood, which is also acting as an important deforestation agent, and particularly in the dry forest area. The next is expansion of agribusiness. With the addition of cash crops such as oil palms, rubber, fruits, and ornamental plants, there is stress to expand the area for agribusiness. Products which result in deforestation. Next point is development projects and growing need for food. The growing demand for electricity, irrigation, construction, mining, etc. has led to destruction of forest. Increased population need more food, which has compelled for increasing area under agricultural crops, which are continuously compelling for the process of deforestation. Then the next is raw material for industrial use. Now the forest or the resources which we can obtain from the forest are raw material for various industries. So forest provides raw material for industry and it has exerted a tremendous pressure on forest and forest resources. Increasing demand for plywood for backing has exerted pressure on cutting of other species, such as fir to be used as backing material for apple in Jammu and Kashmir and tea in northeast states. Major effects of deforestation. Deforestation adversely and directly affects and damages the environment and living beings. Major causes of deforestation are first, that is soil erosion and loss of soil fertility. Second, decrease of rainfall due to effect of hydrological cycle, expansion of deserts, climate change and depletion of water table, loss of biodiversity, which include flora and fauna, which includes sun, which include flora and fauna, environmental changes, and disturbance in forest ecosystem. Then comes the timber extraction. There has been unlimited exploitation of timber for commercial purpose and commercial uses. Due to increased industrial demand, timber extraction has significant impact on the forest and of course the tribal peoples which are dependent totally on the forest for their life and shelter. Then lodging. Poor lodging result in degraded forest and may lead to soil erosion, especially on slopes. New logging roads permit shifting cultivators and fuel. Wood gatherers to gain access to the logging area. Loss of long-term forest productivity, species of plants and animals may also be eliminated. Exploitation of tribal people may be by contractor. Now comes the mining. Nowadays, many industries were dependent for raw material on mining also. So, major effects of mining operation on forest and tribal people are mining from shallow deposits is done by surface mining, while that from deep deposits is done by subsurface mining. It leads to degradation of lands and loss of topsoil. It is estimated that about 80,000 hectare land is under stress of mining activities in India. Mining leads to drying up perennial sources of water sources like a spring and streams in mountainous area. Mining and other associated activities remove vegetation along with underlying soil mantle, which results in destruction of topography and landscape in the area. Large scale deforestation has been reported in Mussoorie and Dehradun Valley due to continuous indiscriminating mining process. The forested area has declined at an average rate of 33%, and the increase in non-forest area due to mining activities has resulted in relatively unstable zones leading to landslide. Indiscriminate mining in forest of Goa since 1961 has destroyed more than 50,000 hectares of forest land. Coal mining in Jharia, Raniganj, and Singrauli area has caused extensive deforestation in Jharkhand area. Mining of magnetite and soapstone have destroyed 14 hectares of forest in hilly slopes of Harikot, Kosi Valley, and Almora regions. Mining of radioactive minerals in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka are posing similar threats of deforestation. The rich forests of Western Ghats are also facing the same threat due to mining. Projects for excavation of copper, chromites, bauxite, and magnetite. Effects of dams on forest and tribal people. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru referred dam and valley projects as temples of modern India. These big dams and river valley projects have multiple purpose uses. However, these dams are also responsible for the destruction of forests. They are responsible for degradation of catchment areas, loss of flora and fauna, increase of waterborne diseases. Disturbance in forest ecosystem, rehabilitation and resettlement of tribal peoples. India has more than 1550 large dams, the maximum being in the state of Maharashtra, more than 600, followed by Gujarat, more than 250, and Madhya Pradesh, that is 130. The highest one is Tehri Dam on river Bhagirathi in Uttaranchal, and the largest in terms of capacity is Bhakra Dam on river Satluj in Himachal Pradesh. Big dams have been in sharp focus of various environmental groups all over the world, which is mainly because of several ecological problems, including problem of deforestation and problem of socioeconomics related to tribal or native peoples which are associated with them. Now, the projects which are situated on Western Ghats, which attract much concern of people, the crusade against the ecological damage and deforestation caused due to Dehri Dam was led by Sri Sundarlal Bahuguna, the leader of Chipko movement. The causes of Sardar Sarovar Dam related issue have been taken up by the environmental activist Medha Patkar, joined by Arundhati Ray and Baba Amte. For building dams, large-scale devastation of forests takes place, which breaks the natural ecological balance of the region. Floods, droughts, and landslides become more prevalent in such area. Forests are the repositories of invaluable gift of nature in the form of biodiversity, and by destroying them, particularly the tropical rainforest, we are going to lose these species even before knowing that. These species could be having marvelous economic or medicinal value, and deforestation result in loss of this. The storehouse of species which have evolved over millions of years in a single stroke. Now, forest conservation and management. So, for the process of forest conservation, there is a need of effective management strategies. Then and then only we take a step toward the conservation of forest. So, forest is one of the most valuable resources and thus lead to be conserved to conserve forest. Following steps should be taken, that is, first, conservation of forest is a national problem. Therefore, it should be tackled with perfect coordination between concerned government departments or department authorities. Second, people should be made aware of importance of forests and involved in forest conservation activities. The third, the cutting of trees in the forest for timber should be stopped. Fourth, a forestation program should be launched. Fifth, grassland should be regenerated. Sixth, Forest Conservation Act should be strictly implemented to check deforestation. Awards should be instituted for the deserving authorities or the deserving candidates. Water resources. Water is indispensable resource for our life. Approximately 70.8% surface of earth is covered with water in the form of oceans. Out of this, about 97% is not fit for human consumption. About 2% is locked as a glacier and only less than 1% is available as fresh water that can be used for human consumption and other uses. Water is very important source and essential for life because it is very unique characteristic such as water exists as liquid over a wide range of temperature that is 0 to 1000 degrees Celsius. with highest specific heat and latent heat of vaporization. So, water is excellent solvent and act as a carrier of nutrient and helps to distribute them to the cells in the body, regulate the body temperature and support structure, and can dissolve various pollutants and act as a carrier of large number of microorganisms. It is responsible for hydrological cycle, which act as source of water to the earth. It is estimated that about 1.4 inch thick layer of water evaporates and majority of water returns to earth through hydrological cycle. Water is renewable, but its overuse and pollution make it unfit for use. Sewage, industry use, chemical, etc. pollute water with nitrates, metals, and pesticides. So, with this much introduction of water resource, in next part we will discuss in detail with an important resource, that is water resource. Thank you.